Howdy and welcome back. I'm Oliver the Shoe Man, and today we have a pair of really old elephant skin boots. I believe these are the ear of the elephant. These gotta be like 30 to 40 years old, and they've been resold a couple times and they just need a complete overhaul. So that is what we're going to be doing today. As you can see, I kind of have this one apart already. We're going to be doing new toe counters, which is what that piece is. That's why I have a last in there, because there was a wrinkle right here at the toe that we're trying to get out. So we're going to put new leather toe counters in there to get that wrinkle out. See if you can see it kind of right there. See how it dips. So we're going to do new leather toe counters, which will get all that out. And do, obviously, we weren't supposed to do footbeds, but when I took these apart, this was a footbed, and so we're gonna do new leather footbeds. He's gonna have to break them in again, unfortunately, but I can't leave them obviously cracked in half like that. So I'm gonna see if we can kind of speed through this breakdown. If I can stop throwing my stuff that went underneath my sander somehow. At a paper heel base, which we will replace with a leather heel base. Let's see if I can peel this sole up. These are going to be one really nice pair of boots when I am done. Let me tell you guys. You're gonna hopefully last another 30 to 40 years is the goal. Because elephant skin is one of the most durable skin like leathers that you can get. They are a pain in the butt to break in because they're so stiff, and my goodness, trying to break them in is like you're walking in bricks for the first month. But once you get them broken in, they're nice and soft. They're formed to your foot, and they last many years. The uppers, the leather itself. Obviously, you need to replace the soles every now and then. Trying to get this welts off, and it's dry rotted. So I think we're just gonna maybe cut it off. Yeah, I'm just gonna. A lot of times you could pull the thread out all in one shot, but since we're doing new footbeds, it's not really necessary. See if I can pull this inside thread out. Let's see if this will work for me. Sometimes it does, sometimes the boots are just so old. Yeah, the thread rips like that. All right, so now we're just gonna cut those threads, the stitching that holds the welts on. This is pretty strange. I don't know. So I've seen some cobblers do some weird things, and I don't know. Listen, I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm seeing. So you have the top of the welt, right? And then this is the bottom of the welt. Now that's not what the bottom of the stitch should look like. I mean, the bottom of the stitch should be right there. So there's this top stitch and then a bottom stitch on the welt, which should have been like this, right? So the top of the stitch and then the bottom of the stitch. But why is there a bottom stitch right there? I've got no clue. No clue whatsoever. But like I said, we're gonna replace everything. These are gonna be like, as I don't like to say brand new, but better than brand new. the uppers aren't in bad shape. And with new footbeds, new welts, new leather soles, leather toe counters, he'll be able to wear these another 30, 40 years. Maybe with a couple resoles in those. But as long as he takes care of the uppers and conditions like the welt and the sole every now and then. You can put some leather conditioners on your soles, leather soles, every now and then. It won't hurt it. Actually, could extend the life of your leather soles if you do that. But he'll get many more wears. Many more years of wear out of these. Oh yeah, these footbeds are dry rotted. Oof. Yeah, look at that. Oh, and it's got a hole there in the toe. We'll go ahead and patch that. Take care of that. And then this last is a size 8E. These are, I think on the inside it says 7.5. But it actually didn't fit. Not too bad. Inside the shoe. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get some veg tan leather to shape our new leather toe counters. Let me see what this one had. I think this one had elastic, just like a fiberglass. Man, I'm just dropping everything tonight. Basically a fiberglass. Yeah, you can see that's dead. That is no structure at all. So we'll get new leather toe counters ready. We'll get the fronts, like of the toe, kind of straightened out, and we'll let this just sit overnight. We'll come back again in the morning. So to make leather toe counters, one, you have to find the last. That's the same shape, and we got pretty close to it. And this is a veg tan leather. I think it's like a 2 to 3 ounce veg tan leather. And you gotta basically tack it onto the last here. Start right there at the top. And I'll pull and do the bottom piece here. Oh, and you also have to wet the veg tan leather. I soaked this thing under a why is it escaping my brain right now? Sink. You got a sink. All right. And then, so once you have tacked here, here, and here, I will come here and grab a pair of pliers. These are some lasting pliers. So I grab it and I pull. I hold it down with my thumb. You grab your tack. And these have a hammer on there, but I like to have my cobbler hammer right next to it. And so you got that tacked right there. And you see how there's 2 folds, one right there, one right there. You're just gonna grab that, and right where it's at, you're gonna pull and twist. Hold that down with your thumb. Grab another hammer, another nail, tack that right there. You're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Grab it and kind of twist and pull at the same time. Okay. Oh, that one didn't go in all the way. And your thumb is what's holding the tension while you're putting the nail in. All right. So now you see it's a little better, but you got some more wrinkles. So this is when I'll grab one of these pliers, and that way I can kind of pull a little bit easier with all the nails in there, because this is so wide. This kind of allows me to go into that wrinkle right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it allows you to go into the wrinkle, grab and pull right down. Put my nail in. Same thing here. I'm gonna grab that. Put some, just hammer it down. Put yourself one right there. All right, now from here, what I like to do is, you see that wrinkle right there. So I won't even grab it with the pliers. I'll just stick a nail in there. Just like that. Use the nail kind of to pull the wrinkle out. And I'm kind of hammering them down and then towards it. And when you kind of bend the nail, it's kind of pulling the leather tight. I hope that makes sense. All right. Just want to make sure all the wrinkles are out at the toe. There you go. Now you gotta let that dry overnight. And you got your leather toe counter. You gotta cut it out and go from there. But for this case, in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this top nail out, flatten that back down. I'm gonna grab the shoe. Man, I'm dropping things tonight. I'll stick this last here, right? And then I'm gonna see if I can stretch this toe out. Get that wrinkle out of the toe there. Okay. I have a little last stands that you could use for this type of work, like this, but it's got I don't know if you can see. You see that hole right there? And so it's this thing right here. Right? But it's just a little pole. And so you kind of stick it in there like this. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so we'll grab that, kind of pull this toe around. Now, in the same holes that the welt was stitched in, I'll go ahead and put a couple nails, securing it over that last. All right, and then after that, what I'm going to do is take my stretching spray, which I don't have at the table right now. It's over at my stretching station. Pull that out. And then I will saturate the leather uppers, the elephant. And then we'll let that sit overnight. And then tomorrow we'll be able to put our leather toe counters in. And then this wrinkle right here at the toe, you see how it looks a lot better than what it was. That'll be out. It'll be ironed out real nice. It'll be ready to start on the new footbeds and the new soles. So we got that hole patched up. All I did was took a piece of leather. I cut out a little circle, thinned the edges out so you're not feeling it around it, and just patch that section there. And this is then we got our toe counters in as well. And it's really sturdy, really nice and sturdy. It's hard to see or actually feel it, because you really need to feel it to know the difference. But what's important is that we got that, I know I'm all over the place right now, is that we got that leather, the wrinkle out of that toe there. I'm trying to cut this. These scissors are not designed, not sharp enough for the thin of leather. But this is what I'm trying to show you, the footbed with our new gimming on there that I stitched to the footbed. So what we'll do is I will put this in here, secure the back, and then we'll be ready to stitch some new welts on. Okay, we are making headway on these beautiful boots. We got our new footbeds in, our welts stitched on, leather heel rand. We have a new steel shank in there. The old one is all rusted out, so we put a new one in there. And then, if you see here, this is the old sole. There's this piece right here. There's a leather shank cover. So we made a new one. We're going to glue that here in this back section as a filler in the back and to cover the shank. Then we're going to put some cork here in the front. 2 layers to fill in that cavity. Cut the edges off, and then we're gonna hammer it all down securely. All right, and then we sand this flush and be ready for our new soles. We're ready for the new soles to go on. The customer chose our upgraded JR leather sole, which is a probably the best sole that you can get. Our house leather, which is very similar to this, not the same, but very similar. This lasts about twice as long as our house leather, but it obviously costs a little bit more. So a lot of people kind of just choose to go with the house because, again, it's a lot better than what most manufacturers are using. So they last longer than what most leather soles do. But this is just a step up. If you want the best of the best, definitely choose the JR option. And so right now I'm just kind of pressing, and I wet the leather like you saw to kind of get it broken in a little bit because it's a thick leather. And so I don't want the boots to feel like bricks when the customer tries them on. They're still going to feel stiff, and you're going to have to break them in again because we did do new footbeds and everything in there. But anything I can do to make it look or feel a little bit better and break in a little bit faster, I will do. So now we'll press the edges down, trim it, stitch it, put a heel on it. These will be good to go. These are all done and ready to go. What a difference from the old to the new. This is all that we replaced. Replaced new footbeds. You can kind of see his footprint, right? And there, he's gonna have to break them in again because it's a flat piece of leather compared to that, which has molded to his foot. Place the shanks, obviously new soles and all that other stuff that's just crumbled away. But did just a little bit of a dye job there at the bottom with some I put a little bit of brass tips at the toes, and that's mainly aesthetics, but it also prevent him from wearing out the tips of his toes faster than if it wasn't there. Not too shabby. Obviously, we did the new toe counters. So that is one sturdy toe counter. That's not gonna go anywhere anytime soon. We got that wrinkle out. Let me see. Not too bad. Other than that, these are elephant skin boots. Are by far one of the most durable leathers that I've worked on. I mean, they're a pain in the butt to break in, I've heard, because they're just so stiff. But these are 30-ish, 30, 40 years old, somewhere between there, and they're ready to go for another 30 to 40 years, God willing. So, new bottom heels. Thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you liked this type of video, please like, subscribe, comment what you think. For those of you curious, this was a $495 job to restore and rebuild everything. I think a new pair of elephant skin boots, if you were to buy one today from like Luke Casey, would be about $1,000. So saved a lot of money. Got to keep his boots. Yes, I'll have to go through the break-in period, but the uppers are already broken in. So all I have to do is put his footprint back into it. Could take a couple weeks, but yeah, I'm very happy with how these turned out. Thank you guys again for watching. Appreciate it. See y'all next time.